So you talk a lot about writing, but what type of writing fuels you? What is it that you most like? Is there a particular genre or style?
That's a great question. And what I've found is that I'm doing more introspective writing. So I think later in life, I've kind of realized that have a very introverted personality. So not that I didn't realize that earlier, but I think it came into more focus later in my life and more awareness of that and how it kind of flows throughout many parts of my life. And so, one of the things as an introvert is just having more introspection into what I'm doing and why, and how I'm motivated and how I lead and that sort of thing at work. And so the writing that I've done over the last 5 years started out as stories of my past, really just to document them for my kids and my family down the road. Eventually, I decided I really wanted to dig deeper. I connected with a great writing coach, did a lot of studies and learning and reading books and things like that to understand more about memoirs. And that process over the last 5 years has been really fulfilling because it's like just peeling the onion and understanding more about life and what I've done and what I was going through as a kid, whether I realized it back then or not. And so that's eventually evolved into the book that is coming out in March, but also it's part of the blog that I started to write this past summer in order to try and share some of my experiences and also try to connect and engage with others that feel like they have an introverted personality and maybe seeking some guidance or experience from others.
So, was there anybody early on that influenced you for writing? Anybody in your family, sisters, your mom, your dad? Any of them write?
So my sister was Renee was on the school newspaper, so that had some influence to me. We've always been close, and so I think that helped to kind of get me in along that path. My family has generally been really creative. My sisters, my parents, musically creative and that sort of thing, but nobody really has. I don't come from a family or a history of writers per se, but more creative people that have encouraged me to, as I've kind of thought through it, to express myself in different ways.
Have you ever been interested in poetry?
Uh, yeah, I've been interested in poetry. My mom used to write poems when she was a lot of the time when she was hosting events with people from out of state. So we had bat mitzvahs and weddings, and she would always write these poems that I always felt they were kind of really cute and rhythmic and a great, funny way to express her view and her joy of having everybody come in, and everybody raved about her poems at all these events. And so I actually did write poems. I wouldn't say have a high level of skill at writing poetry, but it's fun. And so I would write it, and sometimes with work meetings, I would write poetry that we would share at like an annual dinner or something, and it kind of recapped what we had gone through in the past year and some of the activities of the different people around the table. And so it was a fun way to do it, and it was also a way, quite honestly, for me to kind of mask a little bit of my shyness and introversion in those kind of public experiences by being able to read funny poetry instead of having to give a stand-up speech.